Hello everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and welcome back to another episode of Amps of the Axe FX3. Today we are going to be checking out the Splawn Quickrod. And guys, if it's your first time here or if you've been here before, make sure you are subscribed. I do lots of cool stuff here. I do Axe FX tutorials, mixing tutorials, giveaways. I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff, so make sure you are subscribed. So without further ado, let's check out the Splawn Quickrod. So the Splawn Quickrod looks sort of like this. All the information I'm going to be giving you today is going to be coming from the Axe FX wiki. So if you go to wiki.fractalaudio.com, you can check that out. So the Splawn Quickrod is basically, it's based off of a Marshall Plexi, but it's like all three of the Plexi iterations, I guess you want to say, kind of smashed into one amp, and then gain is stacked on top of them. So the way the amp works is there's 3 channels, and each channel has like another gear or like overdrive knob on them, if you want to call it that, because that's essentially what it does. So the first channel or gear is Plexi, the second one is a Hod Rod JCM800, and then the third one is a super Hod Rod 800, and then the lead mode is essentially those same channels but with even more gain stacked on top of them. It uses EL34s, and here's some words of wisdom from Cliff right here. Basically, the drive pot's weird. It's linear taper instead of audio taper, so all the gain that the channel has shows up at noon. He says he doesn't know why they did that, and I'll kind of experiment with that on the amp to see if that kind of came across on the Axe FX. So let's check it out. IR I'm going to be using is going to be ML Sound Labs Mega Green. Well, 57C. Basically, it's a oversized 412 Mesa cab with some of the best greenbacks ever made. It does really good for this type of style of music. Give you a little preview into how things set up. Right here, we're using the same cab for everything, and I have the channel and the amp that it's supposed to be modding right here. So without further ado, let's get to some playing. I'm using a Tom Anderson Cobra with some Anderson pickups. I have an HC1 in the neck and an HC3 in the bridge. And I'll play a little bit, cycle through the pickups, and we'll talk about each channel. Before I forget, I'm going to show you the output EQ on each of them because I'm going to forget when we're going through this. Essentially, I'm just cutting some mids and some low mids that Plexis are famous for. Plexis are famous for that like 125, around 250 range. So I will play a little bit, and then we'll talk about each section. So, as you can see with the Plexi, I tried to dial it in on the first mode Plexi. I tried to dial it in kind of like a low gain type of feel. I mean, if you really bring it down like way down here like this, you can kind of, my pick, you can kind of get like a little breakup type of thing. You kind of need a pickup. Like right now, my pickups are in parallel, so the output is a lot lower. You kind of need that if you kind of want to get some like lower type of gain tones, because as you can, what Cliff said kind of comes through here on the main amp. You pretty much are maxed out at gain somewhere right around here between 5 and 7. I do find a little bit of like the low mids and stuff will come through as you crank it up, but gain wise, it doesn't really like explode all that much. And as you can see, I dialed this one in kind of like how you would want to dial in most plexes, you know, mid, treble, and I bumped up the presence. This amp is kind of dark itself, so that's why I kind of have the kind of the highs boosted up, and everything we dial in is going to be bright and authentic. So I want you to kind of notice them as we go along. This one's kind of more compressed, and as we get farther in, they kind of get a little bit more compressed. So this is OD1. This is the Hod Rod JCM model, and I'm gonna do the same thing. And I don't know if you noticed with my pickups. So like my bridge pickup has like a lot of like mid hump in it, and then when I go the parallel one, and when I go to the series, it kind of cuts that out and it gets like a little bit brighter. So it just kind of gonna. Just want to point that out so you can hear that kind of when I'm flipping through the pickup selection there. Kind of the same thing on here. This one has a lot more gain. It's a little bit more compressed. As you crank the drive up, things really don't get all that crazy out of control. Once again, we're using the same IR. Gonna roll right along because we kind of have a lot to get through. So now, this is OD1 Channel 3, or Gear 3, however you want to call it. This is the super hot rodded JCM800. So as you can hear, this one's way more compressed. It has a lot of gain in it, and I wanted to point this out. I thought about it while I was playing, but I didn't want to break off. I'm using drives on some of them. So on the second one right here, I'm just using them. I have them on, but I'm not. I'm literally just using them for EQ. It's like kicking out all that nasty low end that it's like in mids that are clouding everything, and I just have a little bit of drive on here, just a little bit. Let me crank this a little bit so you can kind of see how that sounds. As you can hear, like without the drive, things kind of get swell up and sound kind of nasty a little bit. The drive on here, It feels kind of stiff. It doesn't really. It moves a little bit from here, but it is how it is. Kind of. It's kind of stiff is the way it feels when I'm playing it right here. So now let's move on to this is OD2. This is the Plexi, but it has way more gain. So let's investigate that. I really like this mode. I find it's really cool. It sounds a lot like the original one. Crank the gain a little bit more. Kind of more of the same. It feels stiff, not stiffish, but you get a little bit of movement. But it's kind of just the way it is, how it is. All right, now we're switching to. Let's look at the EQ again. Like I said, I got the drive on, but I'm just using it kind of as EQ. Now let's move into the second amp that I have set up here. So this is going to be the Hod Rod JCM800 with even more gain. So it's like a hot rod with more gain stacked on top. Once again, using the drive here again. I had to scoop a little bit more than 125 in here because it was getting kind of annoying. So with the drive on, it kind of lets you experiment a little bit more when you're going to the lower gain stuff. But I don't really think anyone you'd be using this channel on the Quickrod would even be trying to experiment with low gain stuff like that. The thing that I'm kind of running into with this amp is it's kind of gets redundant. I don't know about you, but I feel like it gets redundant because there's certain parts on here. It's just like, okay, it's Marshall style. Okay, let's get gain and more gain and more gain. I mean, it's kind of a cool concept, but at a certain point, it gets a little bit out of hand. Like, I don't know the point of this channel, to tell you the truth. So it's a super hot rodded JCM800 with more gain. So it's like, yo, dog, I heard you like gain, so with some gain in your gain while you can gain while you gain. So yes, we have a lot of gain. Let's look at the EQ down a little bit. And yeah, once again, the drive is literally just for EQ stuff. EQ purposes. said I didn't know what was the point of this one, but honestly, I kind of like this channel. I forgot how much I liked it. Once upon a time, I had a patch set up based on this amp on my Axe-Fx 2, but the updates kind of changed it, and I didn't really like the way it sounded anymore, so I kind of gave up on it. This amp is really cool. It's just, like I said, it kind of a lot of redundancy. This channel is cool. It'd be like a really good lead tone. It's very like thick and like creamy. If that, I hope I'm communicating that right. That's kind of what it sounds like on this side. A lot of mids in there. That's why I turned it down. I find the drive knob, it basically, see how I have the bass look like it's 0? If you kind of crank the drive knob, you get those mids and bass coming in there, and you can kind of fill things out. That is going to wrap things up, guys, on the Quickrod. Do any of you guys use the Quickrod in your patches? Do you own the real life Quickrod? Let me know in the comments down below. If you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And coming up next on Amps with the Axe-Fx, we're going to be looking at the Shures. The Shure Badgers. We're going to be exploring these, see how they sound, putting them through their tests. So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss the Shure Badger. The next episode of Amps with the Axe-Fx 3. And guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, checking out this video. I really do appreciate it, guys. I will catch you in the next video. Peace.